Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something really important, something that affects pretty much everyone, staying safe on the road.
Definitely a universal topic.
Yeah, and you shared this piece from today, right? 10 most common ways to avoid car accidents. And honestly, the first thing that jumped out was that statistic.
Oh, yeah. The average of 6 million car accidents in the U.S. every year. It's a lot when you think about it.
6 million.
Yeah.
I mean, does that number seem high to you? It certainly makes you pause.
It really does. It just highlights how necessary it is to be actively thinking about safety, not just passively driving.
Exactly. So our goal here isn't just to read off a list. We want to dig into these 10 points, really understand the why behind them, the how.
Get some actionable insights, basically.
Right. So you walk away feeling a bit more informed, maybe a bit safer with your driving or just riding along. Okay, so let's start with the foundation, being fit to drive. Point 1 is pretty direct. Don't sleep while driving.
Seems obvious, right? But fatigue is a huge factor in accidents. It's not just feeling tired. It genuinely impairs your cognitive abilities, your attention, your decision-making.
It's like driving drunk, some studies say.
Pretty much, yeah. The level of impairment can be very similar. The article mentions things like music or talking.
Oh, candy, yeah. Little tricks.
But those are temporary fixes, if that. The core advice is solid. If you're genuinely feeling sleepy, you absolutely have to pull over somewhere safe, take a nap.
It's just not worth pushing through it, is it? Even if you're busy, running late.
Never. That temptation to just keep going is strong, especially with busy schedules, but knowing how much fatigue actually affects your brain hopefully makes pulling over the easier choice. Safety first.
Absolutely. Okay, so from being fit to drive, let's move to actually navigating. Point 2. Going into traffic moderately. Stop, look, listen, and blind spots.
Yeah, look, listen, it sounds basic, like kid stuff, but really applying it is key. Pulling away from a curb, for instance. It's not just a quick mirror check.
You need to really scan, right?
Yeah.
Pedestrians, cyclists, they can pop out.
Exactly. And the blind spots, the article mentions the usual spots, like around the back, but also windshield columns, modern cars,
Those pillars can be pretty thick.
They can, and they create blind spots you might not even realize. That's why the physical head turn, the shoulder check, is still so important. Mirrors don't show you everything.
Good point. Especially, as the article says, at intersections, making right turns, needing to check both ways.
Because cars do seem to appear out of nowhere sometimes at busy intersections. Constant vigilance needed there.
Very true. Which leads nicely into point 3. Be aware of the red lights runner.
Ah, yes. This one has that specific tip, the count to 3 rule.
Right. After your light turns green, just wait a beat. 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. It gives you that tiny window to see if someone is actually running their red light. It sounds small, but it could be life-saving.
And it counters that urge to just punch it the second the light changes.
And looking both ways, even on a green light. Can't stress that enough. Don't assume everyone else is stopping.
Definitely. And the article mentions semis here, too. They're blind spots.
Huge blind spots, especially on the right. That rule of thumb is golden if you can't see their mirrors.
And they can't see you. Simple as that.
It really is about understanding limitations. Yours, others, the vehicles. Don't assume perfect behavior from anyone.
Right. Okay, looking further ahead now. Point 4. Examine the area ahead for 12 seconds.
Yeah, the 12-second visual lead. It's about scanning far enough down the road to give yourself plenty of reaction time.
So, not just focusing on the taillights right in front of you.
Not at all. You need to see the bigger picture. Brake lights way ahead, maybe debris, someone starting to cross. That early warning is everything.
And this ties into following distance, right? Especially on highways.
Absolutely critical. That buffer space is your reaction time. If someone slams on their brakes, that visual lead plus the physical space gives you a fighting chance to stop safely.
Makes total sense. Create the time and space you need. Okay, shifting focus a bit. Point 5, watch out for children. Super important.
Incredibly important. Kids and animals too, they're just unpredictable near roads. Their understanding of danger isn't fully developed.
The article highlights residential areas, parked cars, places where a child could dart out suddenly.
Exactly. So you need to lower your speed, raise your awareness, really scan actively between parked cars near playgrounds.
It forces you to think, am I just on autopilot in my own neighborhood, or am I really looking?
That's the question, isn't it? It's easy to get complacent.
Okay, next, point 6. Something we all see, maybe we've even done it. Avoid tailgating.
Ugh, yes. Major cause of rear enders, the article says, and it's true. Following too close just wipes out that reaction time we were talking about.
Even a small hesitation from the car in front. Boom.
And it often comes down to being rushed, right? Impatience.
Yeah, the article connects it. Drive ahead of time so you don't need to speed up. Planning your trip actually helps prevent this.
It does. Better planning means less stress, less urge to tailgate or speed. Plus, tailgating just makes the whole driving environment more tense for everyone.
Creates a ripple effect, yeah. Okay, let's skip ahead for a second to point 10, because it feels related. Be polite to other drivers.
Yes. Courtesy. Seems simple, but really important.
The article says, no one owns the road, which is true.
Absolutely. A little respect, letting someone merge, not cutting people off. It prevents road rage, keeps things calmer, safer.
Little things.
Yeah.
And it even mentions reporting suspicious driving. If you see someone really erratic.
Call it in. It's about community safety, looking out for each other. We're all in this together on the roads.
Well said. Okay, let's swing back to the car itself. Point 7. Observe proper engine maintenance always.
Right. This is about preventing problems before they happen. Basic stuff, really. Oil changes, keeping tires properly inflated.
Things that are easy to forget, maybe, but can cause serious issues if neglected.
Definitely. Engine seizure, a tire blowout. These things can cause a complete loss of control, especially at speed. Proper maintenance prevents that.
So it's preventative safety. A little time and money on maintenance saves potentially huge costs and maybe more down the line.
Exactly. Direct link between basic care and avoiding accidents.
Okay, point 8. Always watch out when backing out. Parking lots, specifically.
Oh, yeah. Parking lots are collision central, it feels like sometimes. Low speed, usually, but still, damage, injuries can happen.
So much going on. Cars backing, people walking.
And the article is spot on. Don't just rely on mirrors or even cameras entirely.
That backup camera helps, but it doesn't see everything, especially to the sides.
Nope. You still need to do the physical turn, look over your shoulder. That gives you the best, widest view of what's actually behind you. Mirrors can distort distance too.
Good old-fashioned looking is still best. Got it. Okay, finally, point 9. Always hold the steering wheel, even with one hand. This gets right at distracted driving.
It really does. And the list of distractions is familiar, isn't it? Phones, radio, music, eating, taking hands off the wheel.
The key is maintaining maximum control. Both hands on the wheel whenever possible.
Right, because it's not just about avoiding texting. It's about the unexpected, hitting a pothole you didn't see.
Or a sudden gust of wind, a tire issue.
Exactly. If you don't have a firm two-handed grip, you can lose control in an instant in those situations. It's about being ready for anything.
Okay, so wrapping this up, it feels like these 10 points from 10, most today, while maybe sounding like common sense, really cover the bases.
They do. Driver readiness, like being awake and alert, constant awareness of what's around you, anticipating things.
Being responsible and courteous with other drivers, taking care of your vehicle, and just staying focused.
Yeah, and like we said, none of this is revolutionary, but seeing that 6 million accident number reminds us why focusing on these basics consistently is just so critical.
Hopefully understanding the why behind each point makes it stick a bit better, makes everyone listening a safer, more confident road user.
That's the goal. It's about putting this knowledge into practice every single time you get behind the wheel.
Absolutely. And it leaves me with a final thought, considering that huge number of accidents, 6 million a year. What single small habit, if everyone actually did it consistently, do you think would make the biggest difference to overall road safety? Something to chew on.
Definitely something to think about.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.